So I was cleaning up my computer and I realized that I had a file called illustration number 29 on my computer, and I never drew this, and I realized that it was actually my cousin, because when I first got my Huey on canvas, I let my cousin draw on a little bit because she typically draws on an iPad, a little iPad. So my little cousin drew this, and I thought it'd be perfect if I just redrew in my style. So I asked her when I went over to my aunt's place and was like, hey, can I redraw your drawing that you did about 2 years ago? And she was like, yes. So this is what I'm going to do for today's video, is I'm going to be redrawing in my own style this character. Now, because this character is only drawn from the torso up, we are going to have to make some educated guesses, some assumptions in her design. I could ask her what the design are, but in my opinion, it would be more fun if I actually just made some guesses and kind of just interpret it in my own way, because first of all, it'd be more fun, and second of all, when she does eventually see this, she can tell me if I'm wrong or not. So what I'm going to do in this portion is I'm going to circle some things that we guarantee know. Obviously, there are certain designs that she has chosen and we can see it right off the bat. So first thing we can see is that she clearly has round glasses. That's the first thing we can do. She has round glasses. They're kind of like goggles, but I don't really see this design as a goggle like thing, so I'm going to just make the assumption that they're supposed to be glasses instead of goggles. I feel like that makes more sense, and on average a person would wear glasses, not goggles. Secondly, she has wavy hair, so we know she has long wavy hair. Those are two characteristics. All right, the next thing I do see, and what I will add to the design, is that she does wear a necklace. It's a little hard to see. It kind of matches up for collar right here, but she is wearing some sort of necklace, though we do not see a pendant. We don't see any amulet, any pendant, any jewelry, anything that attaches to the end. So what I'm going to do is that when I draw my necklace, I'm probably going to have it go farther than it already is and have it cut off by a collar or by some sort of clothing item that she wears on top of it, just so if there is supposed to be an item, we could just, you can just kind of cover it up. So we know that she's wearing a necklace of some sort. And lastly, this is going to be where we're going to interpret the most of her design, is that in her collar, tell me if you see this or not, I see like a trench coat like collar, and so I'm going to be drawing a trench coat. That's what I'm going to be giving her design. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give her round glasses, which I can clearly see, wavy hair, which I can clearly see, necklace, which I can clearly see, but I'm going to be giving her a trench coat because this looks like it would eventually be a long sleeve, and she looks like she has a shirt inside. So she's clearly wearing something over top of her shirt, which more or less is typically a jacket, and a trench coat fits pretty well. So those are what I'm going to do. So with that in mind, let's get drawing. So we're at the portion where I typically explain myself, I explain what's happening and how the sketch went. But before I do that, I do want to talk about two other changes I do add. Obviously, the first one is that I'm not going to draw her just her upper torso and just her head. I feel like that'd be boring, and I feel like that wouldn't make much of a video anyway. So I'm going to be drawing her entire body. So obviously I'm going to make some jumps in what she's wearing, how she's posing, all of that. So I'm just going to pull a random pose that I think fits her feel, her vibe of a trench coat, and it's just like her hips to the side and one hand in her pocket, one hand down, her legs are kind of apart, kind of like that sassy, mature, average model pose, I guess. And lastly, for her footwear, I'm going to make her wear high heels. I feel like whenever I think of mature lady, I think of like a business lady in high heels or something like that. So boom, slap that on. I'm not gonna give her like Skechers or platformers, either or. I feel like it would clash if it wasn't high heels, and that's what I'm gonna do. Now, talking about the sketch itself, there were a lot of issues that I ran into, specifically the pose structure. I felt like when I was drawing the structure for the pose, I was having issues with the proportions and how thick her limbs, oh my god, thick certain limbs should be, and also like her length of her arms and length of her legs. I feel like it clashed a little bit sometimes, and also some problems were with her head. I didn't know what emotion I wanted to give her, if I was even going to change the emotion. Ultimately, I decided not to change the emotion, just keep it straight faced. But at the time, I was just kind of wondering, maybe not, maybe I should make some interpretations here. But I decided just to keep it the same, just to keep it very simple. Any changes I do make, she will probably comment underneath the video. She is going to see it, so I will probably pin the comment regardless if she does comment. If she doesn't comment, she's going to contact me on Discord, and she's going to yell at me in real life. So if she hates it, she hates it. I'll probably give an update regardless. But yeah, besides that, there were two other issues that I did have. At the end, you'll probably see it. There is a background portion of her hair. So her hair, there's like one in the forefront and some behind her neck. The portion of her hair behind her neck is kind of ugly in my opinion. It's kind of messy. There's a lot of scratch marks and line work there, and at the time I thought the more line work, the darker the area would be, which would communicate that it's behind her neck, but also allow her face and her neck to pop. In reality, now that I'm looking at it, I could have done it more efficiently, definitely with more efficient line work than just a bunch of scratches. But it's not that big of an issue, but I'm just looking at it and I think I could have done a lot better. But that's really it. The second issue that I do have is her left hand side. It's specifically her hand, her arm, the one that's folded into the pocket. When your elbow is folded, obviously when you're wearing baggy clothing, there's a lot more clothes folds and there's a lot more overlap between the clothes. The only issue of that is that trying to communicate that there's a lot more line work than the rest of the trench coat, which typically has like a one long fluid line to show folds in clothing. And because it's so different, I feel like it draws your eyes over there. It's not too big of a deal, but especially when you're drawing an anime, you want the focus to be on the face, and I'm just afraid that people who see the final sketch might have their eyes drawn to the elbow of the left side arm. But you guys tell me if that is an issue or not. Maybe I'm just looking at it, maybe because I drew it, I'm more focused on it, but if you guys aren't, then that's totally fine, I guess. But overall, the sketch is pretty enjoyable. I had a lot of fun. There were two new things I did attempt with some changes with my sketching. I typically draw in a 1 point or a 2 point scale in between 1 point, 1.5, 2. But now for this drawing, I actually went down to a 0.7 because I wanted to try a thinner line work to see if it changed anything, if it made it any better. And then for the final part, I actually did add a 1.5 outline around the whole thing just to make it pop, just to make it more appealing and for your eyes to be drawn into a little bit more. I think it looks pretty good. I might make this a permanent change to most of my sketches, but for now, I'm gonna have to try it a little bit more and see how it goes. But overall, pretty good first try. And then finally, I did add a little bit of red to her glasses. I just felt like that was something that needed to pop. But yeah, here's the final product. I hope you guys do enjoy. I hope Alina enjoys. She is the one who drew the sketch originally, but again, like I said, she'll tell me if she hates it. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to. I love all that. Comment any critiques, any issues, because remember, this is my drawing and it's my practice. So if you guys would like to tell me if I did poorly, if there are some proportions, or if there's some stuff you want me to change or fix, makes sense. Any advice that you give me will be wonderful, and I will take it to heart, as long as it's constructive criticism. And lastly, the last thing I always do at the end of every video is my 3 comments. Thank you guys for commenting on my videos. You guys are super supportive. I love every single bit of you guys' comments and love reading them. They're super fun, they're super enjoyable, and I just want to show you guys my love for your support by putting them here. So take good care, have a wonderful day, and draw more. I don't know, drink some water. That's what I always say. Why did I forget that?